HRV. This is Miss Rafferty. I'm one of the school counselors here at HRV, and I wanted to talk to you today about what it is to look at a transcript, what it means, what you need to do in order to make sure that you are on track for graduation, and also just to kind of get an idea of credits and things like that. So as you know, this is kind of maybe something you've seen from your counselor, it's been sent home, things like that. Now, if you're a current freshman student, you're going to look at this and say, well, wait a minute, I don't have 2 pages. Well, that's because you're a freshman. So you only will have 1 page of classes. Sophomores, you're only going to have probably 1 page as well. That's not a bad thing because what you're doing is you're building up and working towards graduation. So what we're going to look at today specifically is a couple of sections. We're going to look at this top part right here if you see my cursor. We're also going to look at this box down here, which is very important for a lot of you, okay? So what we're going to do today is we are looking at this student's transcript. Now, you'll notice here that this student is in grade 11, okay? So like I said, for a lot of you, don't freak out. It's just a way for you to get an idea of what your future transcript will look like. So one of the things you'll want to pay attention to is what we call a GPA summary. And in this GPA summary, you will have a cumulative total, which is an unweighted high school GPA. For this student in particular, it's a 3.62. And that's pretty good. Most four-year colleges want a 3.0 or above, okay? If you're looking at a trade school, going to community college, it's still really good to try your best and do your best. So for this student, they have a 3.62 GPA, and your GPA is calculated after every trimester. So the next thing we're going to look at is what's called a class rank. That's looking at the total number of students in your class. So for the class of 2023, this student has 316 students, give or take. And out of that rank of his total students, his class rank is 117. Again, GPA is good, ranking is pretty good, so this student is fit and working well towards graduation. Here you'll also see your attendance, okay? So you'll notice too, this freshman year for this student, they missed school 2 days total. You'll see the days they were present, and you'll see how their GPA was. So if you notice with this student, their GPA has dropped over the couple of years, and you'll also see that for this student in particular, that their attendance kind of increased in terms of absences. So again, in order to make sure that you're on track for graduation, make sure that you are attending. Make sure you're turning in your work and doing well, okay? So again, GPA summary, and this is calculated after the end of every trimester. And then you're also going to see your absences, okay? So as we go down in the transcript, you're going to see these 2 boxes, okay? This upper one is called our credit summary for graduation requirements, okay? It gives you the categories of all the credits that you need for graduation. In particular, fine arts, applied arts, career ed, economics, global studies, or we used to call it world history, government, health, language arts, or otherwise known as English, mathematics, PE, science, U.S. history, and then electives. So for all of you, or most of you, okay, unless you're on a different diploma, you have what's required, which is here in this column, okay, and if you'll look, you need a total of 26.5 credits at graduation. Now, if you are attempting 7.5 credits per year, which we are now with going to trimesters, so with trimesters, you are attempting 7.5 credits. If you're taking a 0 period or a 9th period, you may see a little more. But if you do 7.5 credits, right, for 4 years total, then you're attempting 30 credits. And that's not including your ELC elective credit that you get, okay? And yes, you do get elective credit for your ELC, okay? So keep that in mind. So in total, all students typically have what's required 26 and a half total credits. Now, you see this CMP and you're thinking, what does that mean? Compute? I don't know. Okay, this is actually complete. Okay, so this student in particular, this junior, has completed a total of 19.05 credits. Okay, now we're in the second term of their junior year, and now we're looking at, well, okay, I've got 19.05, I need a total of 26.50 credits for graduation. So what do I have left? If you go to this column right here, you're going to see it's deficient or what you need to finish, okay? So these are the credits that this student in particular needs left for graduation, okay? Now don't freak out if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have 1.5 English credits left. Well, that's because we're still in the year, we're still finishing up credits, okay? So don't freak out. Freshmen, for you, you may have 3.5 credits in this column, okay? You just want to make sure that you're obtaining credits, because if you fail a class, you will have to take credit recovery in your junior and senior year, summer school. We try to make sure that you're working well and doing your stuff so that you can keep moving forward through high school, okay? So in total, okay, you see that this student needs 7.46 credits for graduation that's left, okay? And that's not counting the current term we're in, trimester 2, and it's not counting trimester 3. So this student's credits will start to go down even more as we finish. Now, if you're thinking, what do I need to sign up for? What do I need for graduation? That's going to be different for all of you, but every year you're typically working towards taking classes like English, math, science, and a social studies, electives, a foreign language, that type of thing, okay? So if you look here, what's required, you'll see the breakdown of credits, okay? And this, again, is for all students. So you have 2.5 credits of a fine or applied art, okay? So foreign language, it could be a career tech class like mechanics and construction, ag leadership, that kind of thing. You have career ed, and this could be a trimester of something like Future Health Professions of Oregon, or it could be metals technology, okay? It's just to kind of give you an idea of what to do for career ed. So you need a half credit there. Economics, you do your senior year, that's a half credit. Global studies, or what we like to say is world history, you can do a combo of 2 elective credits to add up to 1. Some students will do that, but they'll also take AP Human Geography their sophomore year, depending where you're at. So government, you'll take your senior year, that's a half credit. For health, you take 1 credit throughout high school. You take wellness health your freshman year, and then you take advanced health your junior year. Language arts, you take English all 4 years. Math, you take 3 years. If you're looking, though, at a 4-year college, you really want to do Algebra 2 or above, and you want to make sure, too, that you continue with math. Even if you're going into a trade, it's important to keep those math skills up. PE, you need a full credit, okay? So typically you take wellness PE your freshman year, and then you'll take another PE. Could be your sophomore year, junior year, or senior year. If you take more of those credits, right, and it goes over the 1 point credit mark, then what you're going to do is that's going to go towards electives credits, but we'll go to that in a sec. Science you typically take your freshman, sophomore, and junior year. Now, again, if you're looking at a competitive school or program at a college, we encourage you to continue with the science. U.S. history, you take your junior year, and then electives, you take 8.5. So for that seems like a lot, but it's actually pretty easy, okay? So like ELC, you get elective credit. If you go over, let's say you take 3 years of a foreign language, right? If you do 3 years of a foreign language, then you're going to fulfill this 2.5, and the other half credit is going to go towards electives. So you'll be able to add those up. And again, you want to make sure you're doing well in your classes and passing in order to get credit and be on track for graduation. Okay, now there's a third box, or I should say a second box here, And this is graduation requirements for the state. Okay, this is for the state as well, but in particular, all students typically will do an extended application, or what we like to say, an EA project. And this is usually done in your junior and senior year if you didn't finish it in your junior year. Now, with this student, okay, because of COVID, they didn't necessarily have to do the essential skills testing for for reading, writing, and math. So that's why you don't see those in here. If you're a current freshman or sophomore, you're going to see this EA project, and then you're also going to see reading, writing, and math below. Okay, and those are state requirements in addition. You'll see again what's required, what's been completed, and what they're deficient in. So this year for juniors, right, you're working on this in ELC. You're working on tasks in Oregon CIS. So again, don't freak out, okay? And if you have more questions, just talk to your counselor about that when we go through your forecasting meeting, just to kind of look over what classes you're doing. So if you look again, okay, you'll see each term. Now these were semesters because we used to be on a semester schedule. So let's pay attention to the first term of their junior year, okay? So you'll see their grade, the school year, what term it is, so trimester 1, and then you'll also notice that this student got an elective credit for their ELC for trimester 1. Algebra 2A, they received a C+, so they got half a credit of math, and so on and so forth. Now, their healthcare workplace experience, it looks like they didn't finish that or get credit for that. So that's going to remain a 0. If you fail a class, you're going to see an F, and then you're also going to see 0 credit, meaning that you didn't get that credit. So for electives, you really want to make sure that you're passing those. For core classes like English and math, those you typically, if you fail that, you would have to do that in summer school or credit recovery. So let's not worry about that right now. You'll see as well, okay, the GPA for the term, how many credits the student earned, and then you'll see their cumulative GPA. So again, if you look up here, just as we saw at the top, you'll see the GPA was a 3.75, but with that C+, that dropped it to 3.62. So you really want to aim for A's and B's. C's are fine. It's just helpful because if you're looking at, again, different opportunities for yourself, you just want to work on that, okay? And so that, all in all, right, is how you're going to read a transcript. I hope this was very helpful for you, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much, and take care. Happy forecasting.